Just because I love you, you come they play me. Just because I love you, you come betray me. I don't need no apology for the harm you caused me. I don't need no apology for the pain you caused me. Hi, this is your one and only Wendy Shay, and I'm on the Afrobeats podcast. Mwah. Shay Gang.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to a brand new edition of Adishop Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, where we break down the hottest topics in the culture. And sometimes I'm joined in the studio by a special guest to have a conversation with me one on one. As always, we want to appreciate all the supporters, subscribers, likers, sharers, commenters. We see all the numbers, but we still need the numbers to keep going up. The bigger our platform gets, the better we're in position to promote our own people and our culture without waiting for anybody else to do so. So if you haven't subscribed now, I want you to take that moment first and click the subscribe button. Once you subscribe to us, you share your comments, let us know your thoughts about the podcast. If you have any guest ideas, some people you want us to speak to, send us a message. We promise to deliver on those guests, on your ideas, and give you the type of entertaining content that you deserve just for your subscription. So we appreciate that. This is brought to you by the Energy God Energy Drink. Drink and stay energized. Be yourself. This is for us, by us. So make sure you go to energygod.com, click, buy, and support the movement. Also, Anchor Car Sales. If you're based in the UK and you'd like to buy a car, whether it's a brand new car, a second-hand vehicle, a car for, expensive looking days, or just driving around, going to work, dropping the kids at school, go to Anchored Car Sales on social media, send them a message, tell them Shopsy Do sent you, and they'll give you a special advisor that will look at your budget, your dream car, and will be able to make it happen, as well as drop the car wherever you are in the UK at your doorsteps. So go to Anchor Car Sales on social media, tell them I sent you, and you can get a special deal. Now, joining me in the studio for the very first time, all the way from West Africa, the Gold Coast to be exact, via Accra, Stuttgart in Germany, and representing the entire Africa worldwide. It is the one and only Wendy Shay. How are you doing, Wendy?
I am doing amazing. I love the introduction, especially the Gold Coast part. Yes,
It's very
because I
important.
dyed my hair gold to represent, the Gold
Oh,
Coast. It's part of the reason why I dyed my hair gold. So I
wow.
actually, nobody says that but just you.
Come on.
Give me five.
I like that. I like that. The thing is, I've been a fan of like the Ghanaian culture, Ghanaian music,
Wow.
and I have a lot of family in Ghana, like friends, family. I spend more time there. At least in the last 10 years, I've spent more time there
Amazing.
than I spend in Nigeria or anywhere
Wow.
else. Exactly. So whenever I get someone coming from Ghana and coming to the podcast, I'm super excited because the conversation
Oh,
piece
bless.
is different.
Oh,
We
bless your
have a
heart.
completely different conversation. So
Mhm.
I'm excited. And then it's a woman. It's a lovely lady. How are you doing? You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
How have you been? How have you been?
Actually, really good. I love the weather here in the UK. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard I brought the sun from Ghana,
Hey,
so.
shining right now. You brought the sunshine from Ghana.
Yes.
Yours is a very interesting story. Whilst I
Mhm.
was introducing you, I mentioned the fact that you
Right.
came via Stuttgart,
Yeah.
which meant that you grew up in Germany.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
It was a crazy experience growing up in Germany. Um I mean, I left to Europe when I was about like 13 or 14 years old.
Mm,
Yes. My we're siblings of four.
yeah.
I'm the firstborn, and my mom relocated to Germany first
Mm,
after my dad died. I was like 2 years old when my dad died.
wow.
So I stayed back in Germany. Sorry, in Ghana with my sister until she was like 10 and I was like 13, and we moved there.
Wow.
Living there wasn't that easy, as a single parent, and with 4 siblings. It wasn't easy at all. But I mean, my mom is a very strong woman, and she took care of us.
Strong African woman.
Yeah,
Sprechen Sie
exactly.
Deutsch?
Ja, oh, sprichst du Deutsch?
Ein bisschen.
Ein bisschen.
Yeah.
Was?
Wie geht's?
Mir geht's gut, danke. Und selbst?
Yeah, good.
Ja.
Good.
Ach, oh, okay.
You know, we're just connecting a little bit. I've got family in Germany too. I go to Berlin every time. Like every year I go to Germany like 3 or 4 times. You know, I think it's different from the UK.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, Germany, it's a very calm place. The people there are very reserved. But
Yes.
when we get to trust you, it's forever.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
link
yeah,
is
it's
strong.
forever. It's forever. And of course, I come from the Benz town, Stuttgart. That's where we do Mercedes Benz. So
Come on.
I'm a Benz girl.
You're a Benz girl. So tell me, after moving to Germany, studying, you know, I saw in there that there was nursing and midwifery, and there was also music school.
There was
Talk
music
to me
school.
about that.
Okay, so I always wanted to be a nurse. I think it's more because I have this philanthropic and humanitarian spirit within me. I didn't want to be a nurse necessarily as a profession, but I just love to be with people, help people. And I also wanted to know what really killed my dad, because I always ask my mom, what did my dad suffer? But my mom always tells me some, some spiritual stuff,
African stories.
But then I read, what exactly killed him, and I was like, okay, I really need to get into details and then, know medically exactly what happened. So that was also one of the reasons why I went into it. And music has always been a part of me. The late high life legend Nanam Pedu, that's my grandfather.
Wow.
Exactly. So music is in my blood. And my mother's side, everybody sings. Like, I mean, not professionally, but they all have great voices. I grew up singing, so music has always been a part of me. So at the age of 14, I used to sing in schools. When in my school, I used to sing, and one day the mayoress, she was a lady, right? She saw me sing at school, and she told me she's going to give me a scholarship for music school. Yes, exactly. So I went to the music school on scholarship, and then after some years, my mom took over and paid for me. So I went to music school for about 4.5 years. Yes,
wow.
and
So what was that like, going to music school? What did they teach you? Is it how to read notes, write notes? What is a music school? What do you learn?
Okay, so mine was to be a vocalist. So I had the voice, I had the talent, but to be a vocalist, you have to take some training, professional training, know how to use your diaphragm and everything, the head, the chest voice, everything, like basically use all the instruments in your body. So that's what I went to learn. I can also play piano.
No way.
Yes.
That's incredible. So now, when your mom took over, because we know how it is, man, you're already in Germany, you're studying midwifery or nursing or whatever it is, and you're also at music school. When your mom took over and said, okay, I'm going to sponsor this, what was the end goal? What were you thinking to become, and what did she see you as becoming?
That's a good question. I'm actually really grateful to have a mother that appreciates my talent. She actually always encouraged me. Let me chip this in. So I always went to like the Voice of Germany every year.
No way.
Yes, I did, but I never went further. I mean, I don't know. They always told me, "Oh, yeah,
you have something.
Du hast echt eine gute Stimme, aber keine Ahnung, was stimmt nicht."
I don't know. I have no idea.
They're like, you have a very beautiful voice, but Wendy, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
But God had a better plan for
Facts.
me. Exactly. So I went to, like I said, DSDS, not just the Voice of Germany. I went to Superstar, Pop Idols, like everything. Basically. Yes. So my mom always believed that I will be somebody, or I'll use my voice for something one day. But I believed in it the most, because for me to be going every year, even though
you're being turned down.
Yes, exactly. I felt something. I I grew up listening to, the Rihannas, the Beyoncés, the Whitney Houstons, the Celine Dion's, and I felt like I belonged there.
Wow.
So it was actually really weird that I had my way detoured to Africa to do music from Africa to the world. Do you understand? And I'll come to that. I think I kind of have a fair idea why that happened. So if you ask me, I'm going to tell you.
No. We're there already. You've already driven us there. So why because I know, all those years that you're talking about Germany, I used to go to Germany too. So I know that was when those pop idol shows were so popular on Germany, boy bands, all the girl groups. Yeah. So I can imagine, whilst you're talking, I can imagine what you had gone through.
Exactly.
But having gone through all those, competitions, trying to make it as a pop star in Europe, and then deciding, let me take it back to my roots. Right. What was that decision like? What happened then?
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to say that I got inspired by a lot of African artists like Tiwa Savage, like Ebony, the late Ebony, Shatta Wale. So I realized that I think from 2014, Afrobeat started gaining massive attention from the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, the European music culture is so saturated with soul and R&B. So if I want to make my way through, what can I sell to them?
These people that's new.
Right. And so another reason is that I think as an artist, you should be able to find an identity as an African artist. If you want to be a big artist in the world, what are you representing? Which country are you representing? As a Ghanaian, I want my people in the Ghanaian diaspora, around the world. I want them to, that's our girl. So I was like, I need to go back to the roots.
Wow.
Do the grassroots work, build the fan base, the foundation, and then we take it to the world.
Wasn't that scary?
It was crazy. But like I said, my steps are being ordered by God. So I just followed. It was like I was thrown into a jungle. And I came back leading the pack,
Come on. I had goosebumps with that. I'm going to write that down. Nah, that's crazy.
I mean,
I was thrown in the jungle. I came back leading the pack.
Exactly.
That's crazy, man. You went like in your early 20s, like 20 years old.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, man. Just picking up your bag. You mentioned Tiwa Savage. One of the reasons why people like myself, continue to be fans of Tiwa Savage was because she walked the same journey. She competed in the X Factor in the UK. Wow. She was in the judge's house, the final stage to make it to live television. And Sharon Osbourne said no. That broke our hearts on TV, everybody, because that was going to be, a Nigerian. And it was at the peak of X Factor at the beginning, where this was the biggest. Maybe it had like 20 million audiences every week. It was crazy. Oof. But after that heartbreak, she packed up her bags. And she went to Lagos. The rest is history. Now, Tiwa Savage is performing on the same platforms that X Factor was being broadcast on.
Exactly.
So talk to me, as a 20-year-old going back home, what that was like.
So all I had in mind was to just go and pursue my career and sell my culture to the world. That was the goal. I never went in there to compete with anybody or to fill the shoes of anybody. But I mean, let me chip this in, okay? I love my Ghanaian people, okay? They made me who I am today. No matter whatever I went through or the opinions of some of them, it actually built me to become strong. Okay, so I think we all, I don't know, for those who don't know my story, I went into the space when we had lost a gem.
The young
Ebony.
I remember.
Right.
I remember.
Exactly. And she was at her peak when she left.
Absolutely.
So a young female artist who was gonna shine would definitely automatically be compared to her.
Walk in her shadows.
And apart from that, I was signed by the label she was signed on to. Right after that.
And that was just the same year, basically,
the
2018.
The same year she passed away. And so I don't know if it was her fans or, you know, her the music lovers or, you know, I mean, Ghanaians, most of them were like, you can never be like her. You're trying to compete.
Even though you were not.
Even though Ebony was a dancehall artist.
You had high life roots.
I was an Afrobeat artist. I mean, Afrobeat has
hip life and high life.
And high life, exactly. And my voice texture was so different. In the music school, I used to learn soul and jazz music, so I had that background too. So it was like totally different. So I was really like, it was mind blowing to get that reaction from them, because growing up in Germany, I was so pro-Africa, Ghana, I love my people. God. I want to sell the culture to them. And then facing racism in Germany.
And then I come rejection. And then... What was that like for a young girl? How did you deal with that?
It wasn't easy. I mean, definitely I had to build my self-image, because, you know, sometimes it might blur your identity.
Facts.
Exactly. So with the help of God, and I also had a very strong team. My boss, Bullied, he's been a pillar in my life, you know. He been in the industry already for a decade or so. I mean, he was in the group Rough and Smooth. Exactly. And so with the knowledge and the understanding he had of the industry, he could help me maneuver my way. Exactly. So, I mean, fast forward, I was hated. I'm the most bullied artist in the history of Ghana music.
That's great. Did you ever want to quit at any time?
My mom told me to quit and come back to Germany, because it was crazy, and it affected everybody in my family.
The family.
It's crazy. Let me chip this in. Do you know that some of my family members were even like kind of shy, and I understand that.
To identify with you. Yeah. Nobody wanted
at that time,
because of the stick that was coming on social media.
Come on, imagine they take your face and then they make you look like an old woman, and then they start trolling you and laughing at you, and, you know, they tell you you're not talented enough. I mean, it was crazy. It was a whole lot of... I wouldn't wish that even on my worst enemy, but then it actually built me. And like I said, in all of that, I still had lovers who listened to my music, because every time they were ranking the highest female artist or the most streamed female, I was number one.
Wow.
That is how much that is the reason why I was giving bangers like Stevie Wonder's. Yes, now we they on top, we know they flop, how we go. Because they make them wonder, just like Stevie Wonder, what them I do. We know they see you with Shatawale.
Come on.
And that song went straight to number one. So in all of that, I was still giving them hits and
back to back,
bagging the awards. I got like 14 awards within 6 months. So
wow.
So even in that heat, that pressure,
success came.
Exactly. And I was being refined. Because as gold, you need to go through that fire. It actually
pressure and fire.
Shifted my soul. It shifted my perspective. You know, growing up in Germany, you don't really see the spiritual and crazy side of life. You think everything is, you know, well, easy.
Straightforward. You can calculate it. But from Africa, you are battling
the
principalities and powers. Hey, Jesus Christ. Even in your sleep, you wake up, you know that some people have been in this room, Charlie. Jesus,
it wasn't
Christ.
Easy. So it actually made me get close to God. That's where I started taking my spiritual life very serious, because I realized that
this is not a joke.
It is not a joke. I need protection. I need safety. I need a pillar where I can get comforting. So that is what made me who I am today.
When was the moment when you felt like the tide was shifting positively? Because it felt like the initial, when you just came and when all that hate and everything was coming, after a while, there was a bit of a calm.
Yeah.
And then the next stories we started reporting about Wendy Shay was just purely about your music, your collaborations. You know, you see Kelvin Boy, we'll see Shatta Wale, we'll see. All of a sudden, the focus tilted to what it was supposed to be at the beginning, which was your talent and your music. But for you, when did you feel the tide eventually shifting?
First of all, I'm always going to say by the glory of God. And I think I continued giving them the hits. I never stopped. I didn't let the negativity stop me. Rather, I used that as a fuel. Whenever I heard something negative about me, I'll go to the studio, create, and then put it out there. You know, so I think gradually they came to see that, okay, this girl really means business. She's not in
gimmick.
Exactly. We are not here to play. So I think that's where they started giving me the space to really exhibit my talent and who I really am and what I have to offer. And they realized, I think one thing that also changed the narrative is my philanthropic work. I have an NGO. I do things very low key, but for some reason, some things just come into the media space. Exactly. So I think all these things changed the narrative, and I don't have a dramatic life. You know, I like to keep things
drama free.
Right, drama free. But when you cross my boundary, I'm gonna tell you my mind.
Well, we saw it in the song when you already cussed the guy out. We don't know who the guy is, but you're one of the first artists in the history of the world that starts a song and says this guy is a mother F. Look at him, he's a monkey. I said, who is this guy? Listen, man, we're searching the net. We want to know who this guy is. So we know that you don't hold your tongue when somebody crosses your path.
Right.
You put pen to paper.
Yes, definitely. I go to the studio and then I just say what is on my mind. You know, I mean, when you're going through such emotions, that's not where you're going to be. Oh, no,
you want to cuss him out. You cussed him. His mother is. I say, hey, I hope he knows.
Entire generation.
Did you send the song to him too, so that he knows that, oh man, this not you. Even if the world doesn't know, me and you, we know.
I mean, who the cup fits, let them wear it. They know themselves. So whatever.
And guess what? It was a hit record.
Do you get it?
One of the most painful diss records is when it becomes a hit record. You see, Not Like Us with Kendrick Lamar.
Look at that. I mean, look at Adele. Someone like you, right?
Yes.
Right, and Adele is one of my favorite artists, so I think it's just right.
Now, 3 albums in, I think I saw Shining Star, Enigma,
and then Shay on You.
Shay on You.
Yeah.
3 projects so far. Right. What were the differences for you as an artist in those 3 projects?
Okay, so Shay on You, like the name says, Shay on You is my first album.
Was the first project.
And I was like, I am on you. Wendy Shay is on you. Whether you like it or not, I am in your faces. So you better accept me or not. I don't care either way. So Shay on You. Yeah. That was my first album. Yep. And then the second album was Shining Star. I think that was where the transition had started happening. I was still exploring my sound, trying to, find myself musically and, gather my fan base. Yeah. Do you understand? So the Shining Star was, my star was shining. Now there's, the rest has begun. The rest. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, you're finally in your zone. Yeah.
Enigma was just further exploring my talent, finding myself, getting to know my vocal range, how far I can go with my voice. Exactly. I went in different ranges and keys. Yeah. And I'm gonna bring out another project very, very soon, an album.
What's the title? Do you have a title yet?
Yes, of course I do.
What time of the year is it coming?
I'm not gonna tell you. I always loved.
You like surprises?
Yes, I always love to keep my fans in suspense because that is when they'll go and Google it
And be waiting on it and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the difference gonna be with this new project? Because now we're in 2025.
Yeah.
Like we said, you're 7 years in the game.
Right.
You're battle tested. You're hit tested. Your credibility in the game is solidified now.
Number 7 for completion, perfection. So I think the time is just right
for something else.
For something more sophisticated. I think my fans have grown with me, and I have new fans too now who are coming to know me. So they are coming to know the new version of Wendy Shay. And so definitely, so it actually matches the title of the album.
So I saw you last year at the Ghana party in the park. Shout out to the entire team. I was actually buying some jollof rice or something at the time.
Ghana jollof rice.
Yes, of course, it has to be. For me, it has to be. Because it's a cheat code. It's party jollof. In Nigeria, we call Ghana jollof party jollof.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
So let me tell you why. Because when you make Ghana jollof, you make it like you're making it for party. It has like some smoke smell in it.
Are you sure?
Makes the one I ate. So in Nigeria, that type of jollof is made for party.
Okay.
When you're expecting big guests and stuff.
Yeah.
So in Ghana, you people just do it normally. So you're cheating. Like we only do it for party, for very exclusive events.
Maybe it was for party in the park, so it was a party jollof. When you come home, I'll do a proper jollof for you.
And then you came on stage, I heard your voice, I turned around, the crowd went crazy. I think you were wearing like a red.
It was like an orange.
You see?
Yeah.
It was like, I was fine. Who's that? Everybody was going crazy. There was a time when the music stopped and you continued singing, where you were just displaying your vocal. Like, yo, she got it.
Thank you.
You there's a lot of personality, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of course, there's musicality now, I know, because you also studied. So it's not just you woke up in the room with a couple of your friends smoking weed, they told you that, oh, you're a great singer. No, this one is a professional.
I'm fooling. No.
Because that's a problem with musicians, where you've got a couple guys in the room, everybody's smoking.
Too many fanfullers.
Everybody's saying this one a hit, this a banger. But we know that when you wake up and everybody's calm, you're like, who engineered this song?
Oh, no.
Tell me, what tribe are you from Ghana?
I am from Kweu, the eastern region. Yes, from the mountain.
Wow.
Yes.
Talk to me about the people from Kweu.
So we are very industrious. When you ask anybody, they'll say, hey, Kweu for and money. Kweu people and money.
They don't
play.
Yes,
they have a lot of money. Exactly. I like, literally, it's not, my blood is not diluted. My grandmother, my grandfather, my mom, my dad, everybody is from the eastern region.
So when you're sleeping, you're thinking business. How we getting to the money?
I mean, you feel me? And they know I don't play.
What about the label? The boss knows that,
They know I don't play.
The checks and balances.
Give me my money.
So I know you're signed to,
but I'm not greedy.
Yeah.
I cut my coat according to my size.
That's a big point when it comes to musicians.
Yes.
Because we all know that in the music business, a lot of young developing artists, one of the biggest problems they have is greed. You start checking your boss's pockets, what's going into the label, what's going on here.
I don't do that, and they know. And I show off what I have. I wouldn't go and rent something that I know I don't have. And they know me. Probably it's because I grew up in Germany. We don't really.
But you're conservative.
Yeah.
Nobody flosses, nobody shows nothing.
So if I'm showing something, it's really mine.
Something that is this one.
Yes, I bought it.
Now, one of the aspects when it comes to Ghanaian music, like Afrobeats and stuff like that, one of the things that always drives is beef. Beef has helped the guys. You know,
Yeah.
Shatta Wale Stoneboy. You know, you've got Sarkodie Manifest. You have, you know, the list goes on. There's always that energy that pulls, and somehow it also helps to promote. But with the women, they, you know, you women have kept it kind of civil
Classy.
and professional and classy. That's a good thing. But do you also think that maybe that doesn't benefit the women because the talkability is not on the same level as the guys? The guys would always get the spotlight because of different things like that.
I think, first of all, women are also built differently. You know, we take things too personal. With this beef thing, it can turn into something else. after the music, we might face each other face to face and really like to talk about it. Like, why did you say that to me? Okay.
Whereas the guys can handshake each other,
you know,
drink a little, and everybody's happy.
You know. But so I just feel like maybe, I don't know, we got to really tame our emotions to be able to do that beef thing.
Yeah,
that's what I think. But hey,
and what do you think can be done to also elevate the female voices, not only in Ghana, but in Afrobeats in general? We've seen successes, like you mentioned, Tiwa Savage, Yemi Alade. We've seen, you know, now Ira Star, Thames, people really doing well on the global stage. But we know we have just as much talent when it comes to the female like the males.
Yeah, of course.
What can we do to elevate these voices more?
Well, that's a very good question. I honestly think the industry is very male dominated, and you know, when opportunities come, I think people automatically like to put men on more than women. And I think that's something we can really be intentional about it. We should also try to involve women on big stages and when opportunity comes. That's what I actually think.
I completely agree with you. So something funny happened last week. There was a blogger that wanted to collaborate with me and put a list of like incredible achievements that Nigerian artists and stuff had made. Let me try to look at my response to him. You know, he sent me a post, you know, that had these incredible achievements of all the Nigerian men, blah, 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 what they had done.
Right.
So I said, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I said, you should have added the women. You should have added Yemi, Angelique, Tiwa Savage. We need to be intentional about adding the leading queens who have dominated for over a decade, breaking boundaries. Please don't just be about the men or the new ladies, because those who will be inspired would not be inspired.
Definitely.
And a week after, he now did a collaboration that had records set by African female artists. And I said to him, that's amazing work. Let's keep building them up and inspiring the young ladies.
I like that.
Have to be intentional. If we're not intentional about these things, and I think that's one of the reasons for me, I'm extremely intentional about everything, building my relationship with the Ghanaian community, with the Tanzanian community. We have to be intentional, because if we're not, subconsciously we just go with just go with the flow.
I don't know why, but
because because there are more opportunities to engage each other. If you didn't come into town and people didn't reach out and stuff like that. Just before we started the interview, that was Slim Case calling me. Before then, LAX called me himself. So you know, they're direct conversations and it's more difficult for women.
One thing people don't know is that this industry is really tough on women.
Facts.
Because of how we are built.
Yes.
As well, our emotions. I mean, even cycles.
Facts.
You know.
Facts.
We have like a whole 7 days of where we need to do with our hormones. Do you understand? So if you see women do it, like, you know, the queens you mentioned, they're doing it for over 10 years. You really need to put some respect on them. Exactly, because
Facts.
It's not easy to be a woman in this industry.
Facts.
Everything. And you know, when you make it to, and maybe you're looking for sponsorship, you go to, you know, these big men and they won't chop the thing before they won't help you. That's also another thing with women we face. And it's true. they don't really help the women like freely like they help the men.
They want something.
They want
in
some,
return.
but obviously they don't want, because the man has only one hoe.
Yes.
But as far as you have two hoes, something for it.
Come on, Wendy Shay. Talk that talk. We're being real here.
I mean it.
We're being real. We're being real. We're being real. We're being real. And that's what we need. And like I said, we have to be intentional about our conversations, about our decisions for changes to be made. Without that, the Ghana Music Awards just happened, you know.
Yeah.
Fantastic event, incredible occasion, performers. What were your thoughts about the award ceremony, winners, and the entire thing?
Honestly, I wasn't in Ghana, so I didn't really watch it.
Yeah.
I was here. I was preparing for the
preparing
tour.
for your own thing.
Exactly.
Well, now that
But
you're
congratulations to everyone who won, of course.
Now that you're talking about it, you've got a brand new single out that features a dancehall legend in Movado. First of all, how did that connection come about? Wow. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
So I texted him on Instagram.
No way.
Yes, I did. I sent him a DM and I was really surprised by how humble this legend is. Guys, if you're an upcoming artist or even a big artist, don't be shy to text your favorite artist.
Anything can happen from there.
Look at me right now. Okay? I mean, really reach out. One person will write you back. And it happened for me. And I told him I'm a big fan. You know, I've always listened to his music growing up.
Yep.
And so it's such a dream come true for me. And last year, I think we shot the video when we came to the Ghana party in the park.
Yeah.
We had a show here and it kind of just aligned. Wow. And he was like, yes, sure, Wendy, I'ma call you. I'ma call you. Yeah, and that's how we met. And then he was like, it was just amazing. Oh God, this man is so humble. I think that's why he is where he is.
Absolutely. And those are professional musicians.
Exactly.
They've been in the game decades. They know what it takes. You know, they know what it takes.
Tell me about it.
Well, listening to the record though, it sounded very personal. Again, Wendy, I hate to say it, but it looks like somehow we're talking to somebody again here.
I think as a musician, you should be able to create about your life and talk about experiences, even if it's not your own experience. It should be something that resonates with everybody. You know, it's a story. We're telling a story. And so you should be able to put your emotions in there so that anybody listening to you can feel like you're talking to them. So it's just creativity. But like I said, everything I put into my music definitely comes from somewhere.
And his verse, like I said it to you when you came in before we recorded, I think personally, this has to be your most international sounding record. Plus, the lyrics of the record, like I said, it felt personal. I was driving, I was listening, and then I heard Movado's verse, and I'm like, this could actually be me talking.
You see?
You know, because we made some moves.
We made some moves.
I hold my hands up. You know, we made some moves that ain't, you know.
I know.
And it felt like that could have been words coming out of my own mouth. Like, that was so incredible.
We must commend the legend for that.
Absolutely. And even whilst he was singing, I think the first verse he took, you wouldn't have thought he was like a dancehall artist. He was just singing.
Tone. I know, right?
That's a record, man.
No, he's a genius. Seriously, his storytelling ability
is ridiculous.
I asked him, legend, which mood were you in when you wrote that verse? He was like, amazing. Wendy, which mood were you in
when you wrote that verse? No, that was amazing, man. So people should check that out. So that's definitely going to be on the album when the album comes out.
Yes.
Okay.
So you trying to find a way to talk about the
making
album,
sure.
yes.
I'm just making sure that everything. So are there going to be any Nigerian collaborations on there? Are we working on some?
We are working on one. You know, there's one of my new songs. It's actually pretty recent. About 3 months or 4 months ago, I released the song. It's called Too Late.
Yeah.
And it's trending everywhere.
Yeah.
I went to a school to perform where there was this little fan called Tracy.
Yeah.
Now they've added my name to her. She's now Tracy Shay.
Tracy Shay.
Yes, exactly. She was singing my song and doing a dance to it, and then it got captured on phone, and it found its way on the internet, and it went viral. It has over 70 million views on TikTok, and it blew up the song for me just like that.
Wow.
And it's trending everywhere. Like it has almost 1 million videos.
Wow.
On TikTok. Yes.
How important social media to records now,
it's
to promoting?
It's actually mind-blowing. And so I'm trying to put together some, I don't want to say yet.
Yeah. But you're trying to put something around
something, that. Yes, and then give it to the fans worldwide.
Final question will be, are you planning like any kind of like solo performances in a market like the UK anytime soon?
Yes,
I think you should.
Yes. I am definitely working on that. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Listen, it's been a pleasure to finally meet you. I've listened to your song. I've seen you. Like I said, I saw you on stage. I thought you have an incredible aura, I believe, and I think you do right now. You're an incredibly talented woman, very intelligent. I'm happy that you stuck the course, that you didn't let the initial negativity at the beginning take you off your path and your destination. That's why we're enjoying it right now. And that's why you're blossoming and flourishing. I look forward to more conversations with myself and hopefully seeing you have your own night here in London and across Europe very soon. Especially, I think you should do something in Germany, actually.
Yeah.
That's probably where you should start. Stuttgart or Hamburg or something.
Yeah, something. I'm planning on doing like a homecoming something.
Do something. Yeah, do something. So, ladies and gentlemen in the room, please give it up for the one and only Wendy Shay.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me, the opportunity to come to your platform to also talk to you, because I see you're doing a lot for Afrobeats.
Thank you.
Too.
Thank you.
Long live Afrobeats.
Long live Afrobeats. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.